10 facts about brown recluse spider you have to know. Number 1. The most dangerous of its family. A terrifying animal has to come from a terrifying lineage. The scientific name of the brown recluse spider is Loxosceles reclusa, which means that it belongs to the genus Loxosceles, a lineage of more than 100 venomous spiders that inhabit all continents. Among them, the Loxosceles reclusa is the most popular because of the greatest number of poisoning cases in the Americas. You want to know how to identify it? Number 2. Pay attention to the mark on its thorax. The brown recluse spider measures between 0.24 and 0.79 inches and is often quite difficult to recognize because it shares certain characteristics with other recluse spider species, especially for the violin-shaped spot on its cephalothorax. Can you see it? If you ever come across a spider that has this mark, be careful. It may be a brown recluse spider, and you would be before one of the most feared spiders in the Americas, or maybe not. In the next number, I'll give you additional characteristics to know if it's about this spider or a relative. Number 3. It has one less pair of eyes. It isn't very convenient to be face to face with a potentially venomous spider, but if you look at its eyes, you'll see its other great feature. It has only 6 eyes, and not 8 like most spiders. These eyes are divided into 3 pairs, 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle. What a scary face. Another important characteristic is that its abdomen and legs are covered in hair, giving it a velvety appearance, unlike other recluse spiders that have spines in their extremities. Can you see why it's hard to recognize it? Well, I told you that I would give you some additional features, not that it would be easy to identify this spider. Number 4. It's probably at your house. Just like you heard, the brown recluse spider lives in the United States, in southern and midwestern states like Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, and many more. However, it's thought that global warming may cause its habitat to expand, so it could soon appear in other states or even in Mexico. In nature, the brown recluse spider lives in dry areas such as caves, rock piles, and log piles, but they're attracted to houses because they can eat insects there, especially if the house has bright lanterns, as the insects are attracted to those. The brown recluse spider often hides on plants, under heavy furniture, in low traffic areas, and in stored clothing, increasing your chances of being bitten when getting dressed. Number 5. It can try cannibalism. What does a brown recluse spider eat? It usually feeds on insects such as silverfish, crickets, and any other small prey that is available. The brown recluse spider builds webs, but not to trap its prey, and although it knows how to hunt, it prefers to eat dead insects. Its web is quite irregular and is usually placed in corners to form shelters. The threads of this web are used as a warning system when an insect passes by. If they can't get food, these spiders usually take it easy since they can spend up to a year without food or water. That is, half or a quarter of their lives, since they usually live between 2 and 4 years in the wild and up to 7 years in captivity in a laboratory. However, if food continues to become scarce, some drastic measures can be taken, and the most shocking is cannibalism. That is, eating a spider of the same species, especially in the mating months of June to September, when females meet aggressive males. They end up eating them for being rude. Number 6. It gives off its legs. Despite their fearsome fame, the behavior of brown recluse spiders is usually quite calm. Since the females lay egg sacs in their shelters, they tend to get little distance from their webs, whereas the males and young specimens do dare to explore a little more. If it senses a threat, the spider lowers its body, withdraws its front legs back in a defensive position, places its hind legs in a forward position, and remains motionless with raised pedipalps. Despite this, when the moment of truth arrives, the spider prefers to flee. The fact that it doesn't leave a trail of silk as other spiders do is helpful in this case. It avoids conflict so much that it may even play dead to avoid an attack. What a performance. But if none of this works, it can amputate a leg as a mechanism to distract the opponent. That's right, like lizards. But do you know what's wrong with this tactic? Well, unlike other spiders, the brown recluse spider doesn't regenerate its injured leg. What usually happens is that it adapts its walking without that leg. Number 7. Up to 300 eggs every summer. The season for recluse spiders to lay eggs is between April and July. At this time, brown recluse spiders can lay between 40 and 50 yellow eggs inside a sticky sac that is less than an inch long, and they place in their shelters. They can lay more than one sac during the summer, laying no less than 300 eggs, and for this reason, a single female can infest a large house with all her offspring, all by herself. It doesn't need a male either. It only needs to mate once to produce fertilized eggs throughout its life. It'll take 6 to 12 months for the hatchlings to reach adulthood. They have a long youth if we take into account that they live a maximum of 4 years. This is because between October and March, the winter months in the United States, the spider is inactive. Number 8. Its venom will send you to the operating room. Since the brown recluse spider is quite calm, most bites tend to occur when people put on clothes and the animal's inside. Usually, you don't feel its bite. Only some victims say they felt a bite at the time. However, after a few hours it tends to become painful. The pain worsens after 12 and 36 hours of the bite, and necrosis begins in the following days. Yes, I said necrosis. That is, death of the tissues around the bite. This is because the venom of the brown recluse spider contains a compound called sphingomyelinase D, which breaks down fibrinogen, which is an important factor in clotting, and the protein fibronectin, which helps in tissue repair. Over the days, the wound left by the bite can grow up to 10 inches because the venom begins to affect the surrounding tissues that eventually gangrene and fall off, leaving a huge hole. Approximately 10% of bites cause moderate or severe tissue damage, and in extreme cases, the victim will have plastic surgery. Number 9. If it bites you, you can die. Although it looks ugly, necrosis doesn't kill people, but in a small percentage of cases, the venom from the brown recluse spider enters the bloodstream, causing the destruction of red blood cells and low platelet levels, which ends up affecting coagulation in all the organs, especially the kidneys, which are in charge of purifying the blood, and have to face a large number of corpses of destroyed red blood cells. The poisoning is known as systemic loxoscelism because it attacks the whole body and has symptoms such as anemia, blood in the urine, fever, rash, yellowing of the skin and the whites of the eyes, nausea, vomiting, kidney failure, seizures, and even coma. In extreme cases, the person might die. Number 10. If you run into it, you must take action. What to do if you were bitten by a brown recluse spider? The first thing is not to be naive. Even though the bite is not painful, this can change in the following hours. Applying ice to the wound helps reduce tissue damage and helps the venom spread. Also, it's good to capture the spider, even if it has been crushed, and see a doctor so that they know exactly what will be your treatment. If you live in the states that are the habitat of this spider, it's good to seal the entrances through which they could get into your home and cover the cracks in the walls. If you already know that they're inside, it's good to shake the clothes before putting them on, not to leave clothes or shoes on the floor, and separate the bed from the wall, because some people have also been bitten just when they were going to sleep. Insecticides can be useful, although they don't kill it, they make it dizzy. On the other hand, repellents do nothing to this spider because its hair protects it from coming into contact with those substances. It's definitely very tough. These have been 10 facts about the brown recluse spider that you have to know. Are you interested in the world of these 8-legged beings? We have much more content about them. So, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. See you in the next video.